Hello, I'm Greg Capalvo, here with Mr. Lowder, a Medway High School teacher. How are you doing, Mr. Lowder?
I'm okay, Greg. Thanks for having me. It's good to see you again. I missed you from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. Long time no see, though. Anyhow, I'll just ask you a few questions.
Great.
Yeah. So, first up on the table is, what does a normal school year look like versus this year?
It's a good question, and I think the biggest challenge that teachers are having right now is being able to address content, being able to check skills with students and to make sure that they are mastering those things because of the lack of time that we have with them. We have a big problem with being able to do any kind of group work. If you remember in my class, it's a lot about source analysis and debate and discussion, and those sort of things don't really work all that well on Zoom or on Meet. So we're having a real challenge with that, and I would say more broadly speaking, it's been a challenge to be able to make connections with kids because we can't have those kind of conversations. We can't engage in that kind of critical thinking as well.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I love group work as much as an introvert as I am, but it's always been something that's helped me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's a strategy that we use to really try and help you guys learn from each other, and it's been an option that we really haven't been able to use as much as we'd like since the pandemic started.
Yeah, very unfortunate. So, COVID has impacted nearly every aspect of school life. Can you describe how it has impacted your ability to teach? So I guess just anything else, or.
Yeah, I think it's really about making connections with students and understanding them personally. The fact that we see you guys once a week just doesn't give us the opportunity to really cement any kind of understanding to create norms for you guys of what you can expect in class every week and that sort of thing. For most students, we're at the 16th, 17th week of the semester, and that means that we've seen them 16 or 17 times for the most part, at least live and in person, and it's a tricky way to try and educate and communicate as well.
Yeah, definitely. I feel it too. I mean, I miss talking to some of my teachers frequently. But what is the biggest issue you see with students? Are they struggling to get work done, or the connection? And
yeah, I mean, we're having a lot of students that are slow to get work in. We're having students struggle to find times to be able to connect with us. We've got FlexBlock, which has been great in the directed study and that sort of thing, but you guys are basically out the door at 2:30, and that takes away a lot of our opportunities to be able to give people extra support, get students caught up on work. If students are out, which we know right now, we've got lots and lots of students out. Being able to get them caught up has been a real challenge. So I think that's the biggest one, and maybe getting a sense of how the students are feeling about their workload, how they're feeling about how much they've accomplished, or whether they feel like they're struggling. We just don't have a good way of communicating that. You throw a mask in, you can't see somebody's face. That makes that all the harder, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So. And so what do you think the administration or students themselves can do going forward just to help out some of these issues?
Well, I think the biggest thing is follow those guidelines, right? 6 feet, masks on all of the time. We've got to get this thing wrapped up. I think the ideal is getting as many people back in a safe way as early as we can, and we can't do that if we are continuing to see the spread of a pandemic. So that would be my biggest suggestion there. Aside from that, I think reaching out to teachers. We've got email. Eventually, you guys will spend your life reading and writing way too many emails, and that's the best way to communicate. Really get a sense of whether you're struggling and what you're struggling with, and reach out to your teachers and try and find some time where you can meet with them directly. Maybe do a one-on-one Zoom or Meet as well to try and get caught up. I think that would be kind of the best option there.
All right. And now, just to diverge a little bit, I wanted to talk about January 6th, as we all know. What do you think was a major factor that led to the attacks?
Well, there are a lot of major factors, right? I think that the existence of social media and the fact that so many people are on social media today are the things that were able to bring all of those people together and to really radicalize them as well, right? Obviously, the president had a role to play in there in bringing those people to Washington, D.C. on that specific day, the date they were counting the Electoral College votes. I think his ability to communicate through social media was absolutely necessary to get that message across, and I think the people who were encouraging that Stop the Steal movement also would not have been as successful at bringing those people together had it not been for social media. I think probably a lot of those people who had more conspiratorial views were probably in a different era off writing up pamphlets and having a hard time getting really anybody to listen to them. But now that we have social media, now that we have Twitter, Parler, those sorts of things, there are methods for people around the world, really, and around the country as well, to be able to communicate these crazy ideas and to be able to share those crazy ideas with each other as well. So instead of having one crazy person per village that you just kind of deal with their conspiracy theories and that sort of thing, you have a global village that can bring all of those people together and help them converge in that one place and help them kind of ramp each other up as well, right? We see a lot of evidence that suggests that on social media they were already well along the way of talking about the goals that they had. And if you look at some of those videos and pictures, we see people with zip ties, and we see people clearly planning to engage in something much more serious and much more dangerous. So I think we're really lucky, considering that there were multiple deaths on that day, we're lucky that it wasn't much, much worse than it was. So.
Definitely. Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Lowder.
You got it. Anything for you, Greg?
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm Greg Capalbo from Newswatch, signing off.